always a pleasure to know that you are watching your program Women and Leadership on Canal International. And if you have missed past editions, you can go to Canal YouTube. You just need to type Women and Leadership and you can watch all our past editions. But today we focus on widowhood challenges and how widows could eventually overcome these challenges. There's so much stress they face daily in our society. It will be interesting to know that we equally handle the aspects of the law, how are widows protected, to what extent, and we've invited just the right women to talk about this very important problematic that continues to affect millions of widows around the world. The program is Women and Leadership. We'll be right back. And it's time for us to know our guests. They are all women and they are here to talk about the experiences on widowhood and how, and obviously provide solutions or strategies on how widows or associations that are fighting for the rights of widows can seek a way forward and better their lives. I will start with someone that is very close to me. She's called Madame Kum Mukoko. She is the president of an association of widows. Bienvenue à l'émission Women and Leadership sur Canal International. C'est la première fois?
Non, pas du tout.
Ce n'est pas la première fois?
Non.
Maintenant, vous êtes la présidente de l'association de veuves.
En détresse.
Comment ça se présente et comment est-ce que vous faisiez pour cette veuve?
En fait, association veuve en détresse, c'est mon histoire à moi. Okay. Il y a quelques années, j'étais veuve, donc j'ai perdu mon époux. Ça fait 36 ans déjà. Okay. Et c'est ça, c'est ma situation à moi. Ma galère à moi qui m'a permis de créer cette association à l'est du pays, donc plus précisément à Bertois, avec le concours de Madame Yao Aïssatou, alors ministre de la condition féminine. Alors j'ai commencé cette association à Bertois où j'ai pu regrouper les femmes et j'ai créé des antennes à Batour et à Bomba.
Mais c'est ta situation qui t'a poussé à créer cette association.
Tout à fait, tout à fait.
Right, on va reparler de ça. We equally have a barrister Remain Amugu, épouse Amukete. She's right close to the president of the association. How are you doing today?
I'm good, thank you.
Now, we are here to talk about the law and how, to what extent widows are protected. In Cameroon, sure you've been handling a lot of cases on widows. Have you had one?
Yes, of course I have.
And how are you coping with such cases?
Thank you for this opportunity. Today, I came here just with one message. Widows' rights are women's rights and are human rights. That's the message I came here with.
All right, we equally have Gladys Njoko. I'll say she's of the civil society. It's been a while. I've not had you in the program, but at least, despite the heavy rains, you had made it here today. How are you doing?
Thank you, Maureen. I'm happy to be here once more, and I think this is a very good topic. And coming from social society, I'll try to be objective and empathetic as well. Thank you to all our listeners.
Thank you so much.
Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you. We equally have Madame Mikano Fanet. She's a widow. Madame Mikano Fanet, bienvenue à l'émission.
Merci.
Women and Leadership sur Canal International. Maintenant, je vais commencer avec vous. Combien de temps est-ce que vous êtes veuve aujourd'hui?
Ça fait 25 ans.
25 ans.
Le 30 octobre va faire 25 ans.
De veuvage. Comment ça s'est passé en petites minutes?
Je me suis mariée officiellement, religieusement. Je n'avais pas trouvé les enfants dans la maison de mon mari. J'ai trouvé qu'ils ont tapé les pères, attachés contre le poteau électrique nu dans son village. Il les a maudits, chassés. Quand leur père est tombé malade, j'ai alerté à tout le monde, personne ne m'a assisté. Seulement mes petits frères qui partaient. J'étais à l'hôpital de Daïdo, à Sagbayeme, et il est mort à Bonamoussa, un naturopathe.
Et quand il est mort?
Et quand il est mort, qu'ils sont venus me combattre. Mais le jour du deuil, on m'a expulsé de la maison. Quand on partait même l'intérieur, on m'a enfermé dans la maison avec une grosse chaîne et un gros cadenas pour que je ne voie pas ce qu'ils partent faire à la tombe. Et ils propagent partout que c'est moi-même qui suis partie. Comment je pouvais partir quand mon mari est mort entre mes mains? Je n'ai pas divorcé.
Donc, vous n'avez pas enterré votre mari? Vous n'avez pas participé?
J'ai participé parce que les pasteurs ont exigé qu'on m'amène. C'est là on est venu me prendre. Les pasteurs m'ont dit de m'approcher de la tombe pour voir comment le cercueil est placé dans la tombe. C'est ça qui m'a fait aller là-bas. Et non seulement ça, il me lançait les sorts que le jour, quand mon mari mourait, j'étais malade. Le corps était au salon, j'étais sous perfusion dedans. Parce qu'il voulait qu'on m'enterre une fois avec lui. Et Dieu n'a pas voulu.
Et il y a les pratiques qu'on a fait sur vous, qu'on devait faire vous en tant que veuve, après l'enterrement?
Tellement c'était embrouillé qu'il y avait même les policiers, c'était troublé que mes gens, ils ont dit à mes gens qu'ils allaient enterrer parce qu'ils savaient qu'ils m'ont déjà tué, que mes parents allaient m'enterrer. Donc c'est ma famille qui m'a fait le veuvage.
Et après ça, vous êtes retourné chez vous?
Jusqu'à aujourd'hui, je n'ai même pas mis pied là-bas. C'est la tombe de mon enfant qui est là-bas.
Donc vous avez recommencé à zéro après le mort de votre épouse?
Oui, je suis là, je souffre. Je suis pas à l'aise.
Madame Moukoko, est-ce que c'est la même histoire avec vous?
Non, pas du tout. En fait, quand mon époux est décédé, le traitement des veuves est le même. Hein. Déjà, quand un homme décède, on accuse immédiatement la femme d'avoir tué son mari, quelles que soient les causes du décès. C'est vrai qu'au début, il y avait trop de tension. Hein. Il y avait trop de tension, mais avec le temps, j'ai respecté la coutume. J'ai respecté la tradition de mon mari que je ne connaissais pas, parce qu'on n'était jamais allé à son village. Et dès qu'il décède, on m'emmène au village avec des petits-enfants. J'ai respecté la coutume. Tout ce qu'ils m'ont demandé, j'ai donné. Et avec le temps, il y avait trop d'embrouilles, mais le temps adoucit parfois les humeurs et même la rancœur.
Donc, tu as accepté toutes
oui, j'ai tout fait. J'ai tout fait.
Mais après avoir fait tout ça, est-ce que tu as resté avec l'héritage de ton mari, tout ce que...
Malheureusement, il n'a pas travaillé longtemps pour que je puisse prétendre avoir son héritage. Il n'a pas travaillé longtemps. Il m'a laissé les enfants. Il n'a même pas eu de pension de réversion. Il a travaillé 12 ans. Et vous savez, il n'a pas eu le temps de cotiser. Donc, je me suis retrouvé avec beaucoup d'enfants à les élever, avec le concours. Quand on parle des relations humaines, c'est très important.
Mais vous allez recommencer la vie à zéro?
Mais vous recommencez, si votre époux décède et que vous n'avez pas de soutien, vous réapprendrez à vivre. Parce que c'est une nouvelle vie qui commence. Le monsieur avec qui vous partagez tout n'est plus. Vous êtes obligé de vous battre pour pouvoir continuer ce que vous devez faire à deux.
All right, Gladys and Joko, and what's your appreciation of widowhood in society today?
Okay, I'll start by saying a widow is a woman who lost her husband and has not been married. There are different categories of widows. You have widows who have lost their husband who are very young. You have widows who've prepared for widowhood, like sugar nannies that they get married to old men just to better their future. You say, I'm going to spend about 10 years with this man and he passes on and he's going to leave me this amount of things. And all of this, what you've asked me a very good question, my perception. They have, all of these women, they have one thing in common, that they've lost their husband. So looking at them, they got married for some of them got married for different reasons. So, but some of them are well treated in the society, and others are really suffering. Okay, like my sister on the right, her story.
The suffering she went through.
Yeah, it's a sad one. But again, we have to always we have to look back. Widowhood is something that you prepare for it before you get married by, getting into the culture of the man you're getting married to, so that you know exactly how your mothers will always tell you, or parents will always tell their children about all those things, that you're getting married into this culture, into this family, this is how to treat people, this is how to treat widows and things like that. So you get prepared for that.
Barrister, do you think women generally want to be widowed? Do you think it's something that is accepted in society today?
Every potential wife is a widow. Many whether you want it or not, it can happen. Death is the only phenomenon that till date, no man, no law, no scientists have been able to find ways to which we can prevent it. So it can happen, and once it happens, I want to take this opportunity to tell the public that it is a collective responsibility to protect the women, because she did not bargain for that. Somebody who loses a husband is really going through a lot to be losing their rights. So no woman wants to, no woman, I don't think any woman will get married to a man whom she knows will leave him anytime soon. We are just living the life as God has designed it to be. So it is a very bad experience, which I think anyone going through that experience should be protected to an extent.
All right, but do you think, Madame Mukoko, est-ce que vous pensez que les femmes pensent que demain je peux être veuve? Elles sont préparées à ça?
Non, elles ne sont pas préparées. On se prépare pas. Moi,
because she said every woman is a potential widow, and that's why I'm coming back to that.
Souvent, quand vous êtes marié, moi j'entends souvent dire, je préfère que je meure la première. L'homme dit non, c'est moi qui mourrai le premier. Donc du coup, c'est une situation qui arrive comme ça. C'est vrai que quand l'homme est malade, on ne pense pas qu'il va mourir. On pense qu'avec le traitement et tous les soins qu'on lui donne, il va guérir.
Maureen, I would like to come back to that, if you permit me, to re-explain why I use that statement. Every woman is a potential widow. I'm trying to say that death is unpredictable. So because you see, this suffering, torture women go through, widows go through, some women are encouraging it. So women are behind it. They are supporting those who are torturing them, forgetting that it can also happen to them. Some sister-in-laws, some mother-in-laws, you know, forgetting that the same thing can happen to them. So I'm trying to say that it can happen to any woman, but when it comes, she did not bargain for it. We should try and protect them because they're already going through a lot. All right,
Roland, Joko, Gladys, you want to react to that because she's talking about that solidarity, because if he wants to end, women can make the practice end. They can stand up and say no to this. But is it the case when you look at Cameroon today? Do you think women can stand up for other widows and say no to this? Because tomorrow will be the same in the same situation.
Yes, I think women
can microphone, do that. Please.
Yes, I think women can do that if the culture is one that destroys the woman or doesn't enhances or upholds the woman. But there's certain minimal traditions that will be respected. Because I believe that we should give to Caesar what is his, what is Caesar's. And
so the woman should be subjected to those practices you're giving to Caesar.
That's
not Caesar?
No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying before you got married to this man, or before you got married, you had traditions that had to be respected. They say you have to bring a goat, you have to bring a pig, you have to do this. And the family shared it and people were enjoying it. So if you're getting married and the custom says you have to mourn for your husband for 2 years or 1 year, that's enough time to give someone you love. And you can get married after that. I say if the culture is not one that will bring you down or that will make you subhuman, to me it's okay, because you know your husband will die one day or your wife will leave you one day. But notwithstanding, I do identify with women. If you lose your husband today, you have a process of grief. You know, you do grieve. You need a support system, you know, to see you through that.
And who is that support system? The other women, right?
Women can be, the state can be, the church can be, it all depends. But you need a support system.
But do we have that? Do we have that in Cameroon today?
Yes, I think there is a support system. To an extent, it is there. If it's not being implemented, you don't. There are certain churches that take care of their widows today.
Okay, sure.
Yes, there are individuals who take care of their widows today. Like everything else on earth is never complete to the letter. So there is a support system. We have to tap into this support system. We have to stand up, the women. You know, don't forget, widows are very resilient. They're very strong people. They always stand up, carry their head up, and try to make, you know, ends meet, especially if they have children. So I do admire them for that, and to try to move forward, which is something good about them. So they should tap into all the support systems to help them to be better, or not even to be better person, to remake their lives.
And when you talk about support system, I'm sure a lot of them will not even know what support system is all about. Est-ce que les femmes ont les soutiens? Parce que on pense que quand les femmes ont des problèmes, d'autres femmes peuvent être comme le soutien, un soutien fort. Est-ce que pour le veuvage au Cameroun, tu vois les femmes derrière autres femmes pour dire non à cette pratique?
Malheureusement, non. Non, parce que je dis souvent que l'ennemi de la femme, c'est la femme elle-même. Si vous observez bien, quand on parle de mutilation génitale, ce sont les femmes qui sont à l'origine de ces... Oui. Quand on parle des rites de veuvage, ce sont les femmes qui le font. Quand on parle des massages des seins, ce sont les femmes qui le font. Donc, les femmes...
Donc, c'est les femmes qui encouragent aussi le veuvage?
Oui.
Vous savez, madame, moi j'ai comme l'impression, j'ai un code ici, un code de veuvage de Bonateki, qui statue un peu comment ça devrait se passer quand un homme Bonateki meurt. Mais les filles qu'on appelle Golchenou l'ont boudé. Ils ont boudé parce qu'elles se disent que pendant la dot, ce sont les frères et le père et les hommes qui mangent la dot. Elle-même, la mariée, la proposée, elle n'a rien. Donc, du coup, elles se sont dit que c'est lorsque leur frère décède. Parce qu'après l'enterrement, on donne une liste à la veuve de boissons, de nourriture et d'argent. Et c'est là où elles trouvent leur compte. C'est ce que disent les Ngondons, les filles. Donc, encadrement en tant que tel, c'est vrai qu'il y a des belles sœurs qui aiment leur frère. Parce que quand vous aimez votre frère, vous allez automatiquement aimer sa femme et ses enfants. Mais si vous n'aimez pas votre frère, il y a des filles qui souhaitent la mort de leur frère. Il y a des filles qui souhaitent la mort. Si mon frère meurt, je vais tout prendre. Si mon frère meurt, il y a des filles qui disent que le jour où mon frère va mourir, tu vas voir.
Tu vas voir, oui.
Le jour où mon frère mourra, ça veut dire que déjà, toi la veuve, on te prépare psychologiquement à savoir que le jour où votre mari décède, mais seulement, elles ne sont pas le bon Dieu. Elles ne sont pas le bon Dieu. Elles peuvent souhaiter la mort de leur mari et malheureusement, c'est la femme qui parle la première.
Right. Madame, Maman Mikano Fanette, now, après toute cette étape, qu'est-ce que vous avez fait? Vous avez couru vers qui pour résoudre votre problème?
Merci.
Parce que c'est un problème, it's a serious problem where widows are stranded, they don't know where to go to run.
Je les ai amenés au parquet, malgré l'état de maladie que j'étais, et au juge de référé RRL. On a dit qu'il doit être réintégré dans mon foyer conjugal à l'immédiat. Et son premier fils, comme il est bouddhiste, lui, il a dit qu'il ne veut pas me voir. Donc si je partais là-bas à ce moment-là, je serais seulement morte. Parce qu'il avait mis les trucs que si je viens, même un seul mais je sors seulement cadavre. Et Dieu a révélé tout ça. C'est pour ça qu'elle souffre aujourd'hui la location. Et les pères les avaient déshérités. Mais on a lu le testament, après tout le bruit là. Ils m'ont fait sortir avec une seule robe sur moi. Tout ce que j'ai amené, tout ce que j'ai fait avec lui, ils ont confisqué ça. Mais moi, je connais que ce sont mes enfants. C'est eux qui ne savent pas que je suis leur maman. Parce que j'aimais les pères.
Et aujourd'hui, quelle est la situation aujourd'hui?
Ma situation aujourd'hui, que je loue. Que je n'arrive même pas à payer ma location. Je ne mange pas bien. Je suis malade, je ne suis pas capable de m'acheter les remèdes.
Il y a beaucoup de veuves qui sont dans les problèmes, elles ne savent pas où aller, they don't know where to run to, they don't know where to go to, they don't know which door to knock. And that's why we're here to tell widows that if you have a problem, you should have a support system. You need people that obviously you can run to so that they can, tell you what to do after that. And Joko Gladys, I'm sure, wanted to react to that because after that stage, we have a lot of widows that abandon everything behind and they start life afresh. Is that the best option?
If you get to a marriage where there are children, you have to be prepared for so many things, especially if the children do have this feeling that you're getting married to their father or you're coming into their father's life, make their mom unhappy or make their mom to suffer. When there's a situation like that, the children will react not too good when their father passes on, because they'll think about the suffering of their mom. You've seen it so many times when they have girlfriends or things, the women in their house suffer. So women don't only suffer when they become widows, they even suffer when their husbands are getting married to other women and their grown-up children. No child would like to see the mom cry, or like to see the mom suffer, or like to see the mom push out into the streets with nothing. And some other woman comes in, and tomorrow when the father dies, they will fold their hands. No, those set of children will definitely create problems.
Every June 23, we always have what we call the International Day for the fight for widows' rights.
Yes.
Let me put it that way. But we have the impression that each year we celebrate, there's a commemoration, there's a celebration, but there are no advancements. Madame Okoko?
Si les choses changent.
Pourquoi les veuves continuent à pleurer chaque an? Pourquoi elles pleurent
Parce
tout le temps?
parce que la coutume, elles sont tenues par la coutume.
C'est-à-dire que
Elles
les
ont
effets
tenu-
des commémorations, ça n'arrive pas dans les villages, les communes.
Petit à petit, il y a des lois comme la CIDEF, il y a le protocole de Maputo qui protège la veuve. Mais seulement ces lois, elles ne sont pas mises en application. Les veuves, de plus en plus, ont une oreille attentive, suivent de leurs problèmes. La journée de la veuve, au début, comme on l'a dit, moi je disais souvent qu'on ne veut pas de tissu. On ne veut pas que la veuve soit célébrée comme le 8 mars. Oui, il y a des tissus. C'est une journée de plaidoyer. C'est pas une journée. C'est une journée de plaidoyer où les veuves doivent se réunir. Comment? À travers les associations. Parce qu'il y a le MIDPROF, il y a les avocates qui accompagnent souvent les veuves jusqu'à l'obtention du jugement de
When we talk about
l'éternité.
the role of government, how government comes in and how the law even protects women. Mais est-ce que vous pensez que la communication, tous les messages est vraiment passé?
Petit à petit. Vous savez, on ne peut pas tout changer du jour au lendemain.
Yeah.
Elles savent maintenant que il faut qu'elles adhèrent aux associations. Parce qu'à travers les associations, il y a des associations qui les accompagnent en organisant, en les éduquant à travers des forums, des causeries éducatives, des tables rondes et même des ateliers de renforcement de capacité sur les droits successoraux. C'est pas facile, on dit la coutume à la peau dure, mais je pense qu'il y a quand même une avancée.
Do you feel the advances?
To some extent, I would say yes, especially to women who are outgoing, who find themselves in groups, in associations. Like that, when you go out to church groups, meeting tribal groups and things like that, you learn a lot from other women.
And we'll have more widows still crying every day on the streets. I mean,
that's a very difficult problem. As she just said, you can't solve, Rome wasn't built in a day. So you can solve all of these problems in a day, but I feel we're going towards the right direction. And even the men, the brothers, the sons, they help their moms, they help widowhood to make it a little bit bearable.
Okay.
Yeah.
We have a widow that's joined us, Madame Taku. How are you doing today?
A young one.
Fine, thank you.
All right. You've been a widow for how long?
5 years.
5 years now. Now, what's the experience? What did you go through?
Thank you, Madam Maureen. When my husband died, he was sick in Douala here. Then after the sister took him to Kumba. Then there in Kumba he died. Then before he died, when he was in the house sick, the junior brothers, because he was having a bike, what they call Okada, the junior brothers came and took the bike, went with it. The phone that my senior sister gave me, he said he will be using the phone. They took the phone, it was on charge. They took the phone and went with it. When I came back, I was just behind, was bathing. When I came back, the children, they told me that that's what just happened as I was behind.
They've taken everything away.
They've taken just the bike and the phone and go with it. So I never asked them. As they went like that, the one that took the bike was no more coming. See, they carried my husband to Sarwe. He died. When he died in Sarwe, I called to ask how he was doing. They told me he was died that very night that I called. So in the morning, I had to travel. When I traveled to Southwest, to Kumba, I pleaded with the family after a family meeting that I wanted to bring the corpse back there because he was
spent most of his time and I wanted people to pay him homage.
So since he's from a polygamous home, they told me if I want to take the corpse, means they will not come, they will just come behind me. I will do everything that they will come behind me.
And so what did you do?
I called my senior sister. By then he was alive. I explained to her. He said I should not fight their brother corpse with them because they explained that they just lost this other brother and that if I'm to take the corpse of this one, they don't have any support.
So you allow them to bury him?
Yes, so I allowed them to take their decision.
Now, did you go through any rites?
Yes. After that,
what were you subjected to do?
Yeah, in the village, we took the corpse to the village after a lot of pleading because we wanted to bury him in Kumba. So I pleaded with them and they accepted the stepsister from the father's side. So they took the corpse to the village, they buried the corpse. In the village, they told me that the person that had to do me, the widowhood, is a woman that is an auntie from the family that the husband is also died, has also died. That is a widow. So that auntie carried me, we went to they took me to one stream. In that stream, they said only married people that have been dowry, that have paid dowry, that they go to that stream. Whenever they go to that stream and do the widowhood, it's only married people.
Married women?
Married women. That different people don't go around to carry water in that stream, only for widowhood, this thing. So they took me there. I went with the auntie that is also a widow, and then with my auntie, and then with my uncle's wife, who is also a widow. So did they
ask you to undress? Did they wash you in the water?
Yes,
that's
yes,
what I want to know.
yes. They undressed me, they washed me, then they said the soap that they are using on me, I will give it to the widow of that, the auntie that is a widow, and the dress that they will remove from me.
Were you happy doing that?
I was.
Were you forced to do that?
No, I was not forced, but I knew that it was something like a culture that every woman must.
You accepted.
Yeah, I accepted.
The custom, the tradition of the place, and that you saw other women going through it, and you said, okay, yes. You had to, and after that, you went back? After that, I went back home. They brought me back home. Then they make a market, something like a market, that I should sell, that I should carry on my head and sell. They explained to me that that one was to open up my way, that anything that I want to do, it will let it prosper. So they put some things on a tray, Maggi, salt, small things that I should carry and sell for the population that was around there. So I carried and I was passing by, I was saying, I sell my this, and people were buying and putting money. Yes. So which means that Barry said that women will accept some money inside the widowhood while others don't accept it.
Why not? You can do anything for the man you love. Anything that will not hurt you for the man you love. Because this man is leaving you with a family. You have children to cater for. So you wouldn't go into something that is harmful, that may jeopardize, that may affect your life. Accept it. You accept the burden, the trauma, the stress because of the man you love. You love anything that is not, that cannot cause you. Yes, that is not dehumanizing you. Yes, it does not dehumanize you. Yes. So I think that's not bad, because I wanted to talk about custom rituals that are terrible, that are horrible, that should not be accepted. For example, like you drinking water the water of the cups. They wash the cups and ask the woman to drink. Some even before now, they used to bury some women alongside their husbands. Before now, other customs but like that has stopped, right? I don't think anyone will allow another fellow man to be buried. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That gradually is changing, but like she said, Rome was not built in a day. Okay, it's gradually changing. It's going to take time, and I was trying to talk about customs that are very inhumane, that are repugnant to justice and equity, that should not be accepted by anybody. It should be by your choice to cut your hair. An example. And that's why I asked her the question that I thought, yes, I wanted to say that maybe she has not ended. I wanted you to ask her, did you cut your hair? Were you asked to cut your hair? Were you asked to cut your hair? Did you choose to wear a particular color?
I mean, what are
those
things? Did they go extreme by asking to do things I didn't want them to do?
Yes, things that
or things I didn't want to do.
No, because in the culture that I married, I knew that when a woman lost the husband, they always do tradition. After they will say shave your hair. So they took me and they shaved my hair, and then I wanted to wear on white. They decided that I must put on black. Then
and you accepted.
I accepted because I
that
never want.
You wanted peace.
Even though it's not killing, but it's not good.
Then they have to give me the duration of time that I have to.
How long? How long did it take you?
The old mother in the village, they gave me 6 months. Yes, they said I should mourn my husband for 6 months, which I did. Then before that, after that selling, they asked me to prepare much food. So I prepared much food.
On which budget? On your budget?
Yeah, on my budget. That I was going to share the food to all my brother-in-laws. That is the last food that their brother is eating with them from my hands. So I had to, they prepared the other widows. They helped me prepare the food. So I was in the village. We were moving from door to door. And then when I reached there, I was said, I greet you. The widow has come to give food for you to eat with your brothers. Then the women that were around will dish your food, and then they will give them.
At any point in time, did you have a widow or a woman come behind and say, "Don't do it. You don't need to go through it"? Did anybody tell you that?
No.
Nobody. So all the women that were around you accompanied you, tell you should just go through this, and very soon it will be over, right? Then, then were you prepared for this? Were you prepared for those rights?
No.
The moment you got into your marriage, did you know that one day you might face that?
I knew that I can, when my husband died, I will mourn. But the other rights of going to wash in water, or cooking food and sharing or selling, I never knew that would.
So what were your worst moments? What did you not like in everything you did there? What were you expecting? What did you not like?
There, like that, is that that moment of going to that stream, that they naked me like that, because the stream was really far, and then it was slopey. We went right down. So I was like, what type of thing is that? Where are they taking me far to?
Okay, they stripped you naked.
Yes.
You walked naked.
Yes.
No.
From a
Or you walked, and then you went to the river. That's when they don't dress you.
Yes.
Okay. So you didn't feel comfortable being undressed, and then the women are standing there, and you're being pushed into pulled into the water, washed into the water. Ça varie, hein?
Vous voyez comment c'est déshumanisant. On vous impose la tradition. Et je le dis souvent, ce village en question, l'homme ne vous a jamais amené au village. Il vous a connu en ville, vous êtes resté en ville. Mais dès qu'il décède, il vous amène au village et vous êtes confronté à une tradition que vous ne connaissez pas. Oui, mais laissez-moi vous dire qu'aujourd'hui, les veuves sont révoltées. Hein. Elles sont révoltées, elles n'acceptent plus cette tradition. Voilà pourquoi elles se réfugient dans les églises. Vous entendrez de plus en plus parler de veuvage chrétien. Veuvage chrétien, mais dans ce veuvage chrétien, elles donnent de la nourriture aux belles-sœurs, hein, la belle famille. Puisqu'on dresse une liste, elles donnent tout ce qu'on a demandé, mais à une condition, on ne la touche pas. On ne la lave pas, on ne lui coupe pas les cheveux, elle ne dort pas 9 mois, 6 mois, 3 mois. Donc de plus en plus, elle se révolte.
Mais pourquoi pas les hommes? Pourquoi seulement les femmes? Pourquoi pas les hommes?
Oui, ben,
why only women?
Oui, ben, pourquoi pas les hommes? Parce que là, quand on met, un petit exemple, quand on met dans une élection un poste à pouvoir, les femmes vont voter les hommes, hein. Elles ne voteront pas les femmes. Les femmes vont voter les hommes. Du coup, quand il y a un veuf, elles sont plus compatissantes envers ce veuf qu'envers la veuve. Donc, quand on parle de discrimination, elle est déjà là. La femme protège plus l'homme que sa sœur, la femme elle-même.
Marie, let me give it a legal connotation to your question. Why women? You know, under customary law, women are considered as chattels. That's a man's property. So that's why under customary law, a man is a superior human being as compared to the woman. So that is why. That's just the reason.
I'm talking like women are subjected to go through those rights. When a man also, I mean, the man is there. What if the woman dies before the man? Does the man go through that too? It's not the same thing. Most men don't even go through that.
I want to say in certain cultures, like one I just witnessed 2 years back, not even in Cameroon, in the eastern part of Nigeria, where a very young boy lost the wife. They've been married for 4 years. They had no issue. The young man is like a son to me. And he had to undergo what they call, will I call it, widowerhood, because he had to stay 6 months without like going out socially. He's an Igbo man, and after 6 months the right is finished, whether it's the man or it's the woman, because if it's the women back in the village, the women have to go back to farm and to the market. So now widowhood, or let me say whoever is widowed, let me use it now that way, man or woman, you know, you have a period of mourning of 6 months and you go back to your normal activities.
But the man is not like the way women are treated or subjected, going to the river, I mean, pulling you down there.
If I don't say this here, Marine, I'll be very unfair to my in-laws and even to my family, because I think I have aunt-in-laws and they're well treated, to be very candid.
That's what part of Cameroon are we talking
yes,
about?
no, I'm talking about Cameroon now. My in-laws, they're well treated. You know, we don't, let me say, somebody like me, I come from a family where we are purely Christian. My grandfather brought the Baptist faith to the grassland, Mamadou. So we don't really have things like culture.
All right.
I have younger sisters and elder sisters who are widows, and I think who are widows, and I think they did not subject them to any kind of thing that wasn't acceptable.
Right.
I have aunts-in-laws that are widows too, and we did not subject them to anything that is, you know, we've been a support system and they have stayed in the family, they're part of the family, and it's one big family. So.
All right. Now, the program is Women and Leadership on Canal, the International. I want us to watch this report on the plight of widows in Cameroon right back after the jingle.
Widows in Cameroon have long faced numerous challenges, including social stigmatization, economic hardships, and limited access to resource and support. Over the past decade, efforts have been made to address these issues and improve the situation for widows. This article aims to examine the current state of widows in Cameroon compared to 10 years ago, highlighting the challenges they continue to face and the progress made in empowering them. Challenges faced by widows. 10 years ago, widows in Cameroon were confronted with a range of difficulties that often left them vulnerable and marginalized. Social stigmatization was prevalent, with widows being ostracized by their communities and even their own families. This isolation made it challenging for them to reintegrate into society and find emotional support. Economically, widows often struggled to make ends meet. Many lacked the necessary skills and education to secure stable employment, leaving them dependent on their late husband's family or charity. Inheritance laws were often biased against widows, denying them access to their deceased husband's property and assets. Access to health care and education was limited for widows and their children. Many were unable to afford medical treatment and education fees, further perpetuating the cycle of poverty and vulnerability. In recent years, efforts have been made by the Cameroonian government, non-governmental organizations, and civil society to address the challenges faced by widows. Awareness campaigns have been conducted to combat social stigmatization and promote inclusivity equity, and acceptance. These initiatives have helped to change societal attitude towards widows, reducing discrimination and promoting empathy. Legal reforms have also been implemented to protect widows' rights to inheritance and property. The 2010 Family Code introduced provisions to ensure that widows are not left destitute and have access to their late husband's assets. This has provided widows with a legal framework to assert their rights and secure their economic stability. Furthermore, various programs and initiatives have been launched to empower widows economically. Skills training programs and microfinance schemes have been established to help widows develop income-generating activities and become financially independent. These initiatives have not only improved the economic situation of widows, but have also enhanced their self-esteem and confidence. While it is challenging to provide precise statistics on the rate of widows in Cameroon, it is evident that the situation has improved over the past decade. The increased awareness and legal reforms have played a significant role in empowering widows and reducing their vulnerability. However, it is important to note that challenges persist and more efforts are needed to fully address the issues faced by widows in Cameroon. The situation of widows in Cameroon has seen notable improvements over the past decade. Efforts to combat social stigmatization, enhance legal protections, and promote economic empowerment have contributed to positive changes in the lives of widows. Nevertheless, further action is required to ensure that widows have equal access to resources, healthcare, and education. By continuing to address these challenges, Cameroon can create a more inclusive society that supports and uplifts its widows.
Welcome back. We're talking about widowhood, challenges, and how they could obviously overcome these problems and have better integration in our society or wherever they find themselves. And I'm accompanied by widows, a widow association lawyer. But Madame Okoko, I want you to tell me about the role of associations. Quel est ton rôle? Quel est votre rôle? Qu'est-ce que vous avez fait? Je te vois avec une code de vœux.
Oui, en fait...
Parce qu'on pense qu'il y a un problème aussi de sensibilisation.
C'est un problème
de communication.
Tout à fait. Voilà pourquoi j'ai parlé tantôt des activités que devraient organiser les associations pour sensibiliser les veuves d'abord sur leurs droits. Parce qu'elles sont ignorantes de leurs droits. Quand elles ont des problèmes, elles ne frappent jamais sur la bonne porte. Elles préfèrent prendre des renseignements au quartier. Alors pour mettre fin à cela, l'association Veuves en détresse organise, comme je l'ai dit, on parle de l'autonomisation à travers des formations, des formations au Javel, parce qu'elles ne sont pas autonomes. Elles ne sont pas autonomes et elles sont ignorantes de leurs droits. Alors à travers ces activités, causerie éducative, table ronde, et on associe toujours les avocats. Parce que quand on parle de veuve, on parle de tradition et on parle de droit. On parle de droit. Mais elles se penchent plus sur la tradition parce qu'elles ont peur que si jamais elle entreprend si elle se rapproche d'un avocat et que la belle famille la prend, immédiatement ça va créer des problèmes. C'est pour cela qu'on appelle à la vigilance des femmes. Dès que l'homme décède, c'est vrai que ça devient très compliqué. Ayez sur vous la pièce d'identité, l'acte de mariage et les actes des enfants. La belle famille, dès que l'homme décède, ce qui leur importe plus, c'est les documents, du défunt. Donc, vous voyez, une veuve en toute confiance. Même s'il n'y a pas de bien. Dès que l'homme décède, un beau-frère ou une belle-sœur, une belle-mère vient, et s'il te plaît, est-ce que tu peux nous donner la CNI de ton mari? Elle, en toute confiance, la donne, ne sachant pas que c'est sa tombe qu'elle est en train de...
Donc, qu'est-ce qu'elle doit faire quand ça t'arrive? What do you do?
Elle doit se rapprocher des bonnes personnes. Il faut qu'elle soit bien conseillée. Et le conseil se passe où il y a déjà le MINPROF qui accompagne les veuves, il y a la commission des droits de l'homme qui accompagne les veuves, il y a des avocats qui accompagnent les veuves. Donc il faut vraiment, cette sensibilisation est très importante. Voilà une sensibilisation qu'on est en train de faire, mais seulement, elle ne s'intéresse pas beaucoup à ces causeries éducatives, elle n'aime pas apprendre. Dites aux femmes que bon, on donne du riz ou du sel là-bas, elles vont accourir. Mais dites-leur qu'on organise une table ronde où on va parler de leurs droits. Elles ne viendront pas. Elles vont vous demander le taxi. Moi, je vais gagner quoi là? Donc, moi, je vais gagner quoi là? Alors que ce qu'elles ont à gagner, vous voyez, sur toutes ces activités, c'est pour leur bien.
All right. Barrister, remind, now what sections of the law defend women?
The United Nations
protect widows. We're talking about widows here.
Section 27, sub 1 of the Saudi Cameroon High Court law, which just talked about what I was saying here, talking about the non-acceptance of rituals, of practices, of customs that are repugnant to natural justice, to equity, and to good conscience. Meaning that anything that you find degrading, any practice, any ritual that you find abnormal, or you're not comfortable doing, you don't do it. You're protected. Don't go for it.
But do women know about this law?
Women
the widows, do they know about it? Because women should know about it.
Yeah, that's
women
true.
in
That's
general
true.
first.
So many do not know. But just like she said, what we are doing right here is a kind of sensitizing the public. So those who be watching, it's not very difficult. You can just go to any lawyer, just go to anybody. Anybody.
The women might be afraid of cost. Maybe they think, a lot of women think that if you're approaching a lawyer, the lawyer will ask you for money, you need to pay something, you need to do this. So at the end of the day, they'll just abandon everything. They'll know what to go to. So how do you think a lawyer will help a widow? A poor widow does not have anything.
Yes, Maury, thank you very much for that point. I would have forgotten, or maybe I didn't deem it necessary to raise it up. Remind speaking right here, this barrister speaking right here, is that kind of widow, is that kind of a lawyer who sees and understands the plight of others. I do cases for pro bono, for widows. Pro bono means free of charge. For widows, I go to the prison, I try to help prisoners.
With no interest?
No interest. No interest. No interest, I do that. I have a lot. Some of them may be watching me, they can attest to that. I have friends, I already have friends in the prison, they call me, some who are privy to telephones, they call me and explain me issues, and I'll follow up for you. So, not every, lawyers, it's true, money is good, money helps.
But do we have a collective of lawyers that because I know
yes,
lawyers always come as a group to help and support widows. Do we have them?
Yes, we have association of lawyers, human rights defenders. Barrister Tamfu is one. We have Barrister Fos Dominique. Yes, she's always there. Those are a few name of them. There are so many. There are so many of them. So you can always walk to them. They are there. They come to rescue people in difficult moments without any interest, no strings attached.
Because the interest
they just want they just want the laws to be respected. They just want to protect their rights.
Madam Joko Gladys, the laws are there, but people out there have the impression that the laws are not being applied.
It's not just
the implementation stage. You don't really find it,
and
that's where women suffer.
Yes, it's not just an impression. Implementation is a big problem in Cameroon, generally. Let me not say in Cameroon. And so that's why today we cannot really evaluate, see we are moving forward or not, because they don't implement these laws. But as I said at the very beginning, there is a good support system for widows, but the message doesn't really get through to them. Communication is lacking. If we can communicate right to the villages and places like that, what can you do? Because all the support systems are well placed, and now with the internet is even so almost at home, because you can have your support system. If not in the country, there are international groups that are out there ready to help women and church associations. So we should exploit that. We should use that to make womanhood, to make widowhood something bearable.
Thank you so much.
Est-ce que vous savez qu'elles sont marginalisées?
They are being stigmatized, they are being discriminated against. It's true. So we have to work against all this when we go to give them wheelbarrows and things like that. That's where education comes in. You really have to educate the women. They have to know their rights. It's not enough to have them written in books and we come here and talk about it. We have to live the experience. We have to go to the grassroots and help these women out. That is when we are doing something. It's not enough to make policies and these policies,
I think
they
we
have
should
to
start
be
from
implemented.
Where do we
Yes,
start
and
from?
we have to
Coming
do it
Madame
as
Coco.
Traditional
individuals.
rulers.
All right, Madame Coco.
But
Moi, je-
unfortunately, traditional rulers are political leaders now as well. So,
All right, Madame Coco, let me
It's a
get
little
back
bit
to you.
complicated.
Moi, je veux que tu me dis, tu es en train de parler aux veuves. Quand ils sont dans dans une situation de distress in that moment, parce que there's a problem of communication. They don't know what to do. When I'm going to the wrong people, I know also have the church. The church also has a role to play. Mais maintenant, en tant qu'association, est-ce que vous entrez dans les communautés? Est-ce que vous partez dans les endroits recalés? I mean, how do you do it? How do you try to spread the message? Talk to the women.
J'ai d'abord créé Veuve en détresse. Après, j'ai été président de la plateforme des veuves du Vaury. Après consistait mon travail de président de la plateforme, j'ai fait des tournées dans les arrondissements. Le département du Vaury a 6 arrondissements. Donc je suis allé dans tous ces arrondissements. Je suis pas allé à Manoka parce qu'il fallait traverser de l'eau et elles n'ont pas accepté. Mais à j'ai amené les activités dans les chefferies. Parce que les chefs sont des garants des traditions. Le vrai problème de la veuve, c'est la belle famille. D'abord, elles sont rejetées, elles sont marginalisées. Vous voyez. Alors comment nous on fait? On organise des réunions. On se met ensemble, chacune expose son problème. Mais c'est très difficile parce qu'elles exposent même ce problème parce qu'elles ont peur qu'on aille dire à la belle famille que on a vu la veuve de telle, elle a dit que vous avez pris, vous avez pris. Du coup, elles se sentent abandonnées à elles-mêmes. Mais à travers des formations, des causeries.
Il faut encourager les veuves à dénoncer ou de venir.
Mais elles ont peur. Elle est très courageuse, mais Madame Canal, elle ne dénonce pas parce qu'elles ont peur des représailles de la belle famille. Il y a des belles familles. Il y a des vœux. Mais quand on dit belle famille, la vengeance, ce règlement de compte, parce que du vivant du monsieur, même si vous avez tout donné à votre belle-mère ou à votre belle-sœur, à partir du moment où le monsieur décède, le monsieur qui était censé vous protéger, à partir du moment où il n'est plus, vous êtes un peu comme exposé à vous-même, abandonné à vous-même. Du coup, chacun se donne le courage de vous affronter, de vous dire n'importe quoi. Donc, moi, je pense que la meilleure façon, les associations, il faut qu'elles soient informées. Il faut qu'elles soient informées et qu'elles sachent frapper sur le bon
Mais les associations ne doivent pas aussi rester là-bas et attendre que les veuves viennent. Vous devez aussi partir là-bas.
Voilà, mais je vous ai dit que j'ai fait le tour des chefferies. Et j'ai demandé à chaque chef...
Et dans le Vaury, il y a combien de veuves?
Plus de 1000 veuves.
Plus de 1000 veuves
Oui.
dans le Vaury. Est-ce que les 1000 veuves là ne peuvent pas être le voix pour passer le message encore à d'autres? Parce que si on dit que 1000 veuves multipliées par 1000 personnes qui racontent, ça va faire au moins 2 000
C'est pour
fois.
cela que dans nos activités, on fait des marches. On fait des marches sportives.
Ok.
Cette marche, c'est un moyen de les sensibiliser.
Oui, oui.
C'est un moyen de les sensibiliser. L'apport des avocats. Parce que quand vous venez, quand une veuve vient, si elle est bien accueillie par la... Vous avez parlé de l'argent. Oui, il y a beaucoup d'argent. Avec la lenteur administrative, elles finissent par abandonner.
C'est ça. Mais Barrister, how can she have a case from beginning right up to the end? And have you ever won a case where, I mean, the widow had everything back that was taken to her?
Yes, I have.
Because you need to give them hope too.
Yes, I have a personal experience. I had a case, 2019. I had a case where a lady was married to the husband, and the husband died. She became a widow, and the cousin of the husband sold the house in which she was living. Sold the house, sold the house to some persons, all in the name of, it's my brother, yes, it's my brother's property. So she came to me. This case was handled by my friend, a colleague, and this colleague traveled And before
So you
traveling,
had to continue the case.
yes, she told me that I've been helping her like a widow, and I'm sending you to this lawyer. She's going to handle your case just the way I've been handling. You don't have any worry. You're a widow. She's going to take care of that.
And you won the case?
Yes, and I did it for
All
her.
right, now we're getting to the end of the program.
Vous lui avez posé une question. Tout ce qu'on lui a demandé, c'était à quel frais? C'était avec son argent. Et si elle n'en a pas,
That is my
et s'il
reaction.
fallait
If you
qu'elle
don't
aille
have the
chez un
money,
avocat qui va
say,
demander
yes, I
une
jumped
ouverture
this
d'un dossier,
question. This is
elle va
I
ouvrir le
wanted to
dossier
ask you,
avec quel frais?
madam, did they support you? Did they give you financial support? This much food you said you cooked.
Cooked.
Wa-
I asked
was
her
it from your
the question
pocket?
that, was it from your pocket? She
Yes,
said
my
it was from her pocket.
Yeah.
You used
What
the
if you
money.
you didn't have the money and you say you don't have money, you wouldn't cook?
Then she would have been in problems because she said she wanted peace, and that's why she had. I'm sure
That's
you
what
borrowed
we are
money to
talking
cook that
about.
food,
This
right?
somebody who
I'm
was.
sure you borrowed money somewhere.
My family supported me.
Your family supported you.
Ben oui.
That's somebody
Now,
who
ladies,
has
we are
lost.
running to the end of the program. It's obvious we'll have another debate on widowhood because it doesn't end here. We can talk about it
Ce
just
n'est
in a
à la
single
fin, ce n'est
day.
ce n'est que votre famille qui vous
It's
assiste.
just your family that can support you at the end of the day, that will stand behind you. And that's why they say, whatever you do, always look back at your family.
Yes.
So I would like you to look at the cameras. Madame Mukoko, tu vas regarder la caméra qui est devant vous là-bas. Tu vas dire, dans 30 secondes, ce que tu veux dire au veuve. Là-bas, devant les femmes qui sont toujours en distress, qui passent, elles ne savent pas quoi faire. Look at the camera in
Oui,
front of you.
ce que je donnerais comme conseil à celles qui sont veuves, c'est de ne pas s'apitoyer sur leur sort. Qu'elles prennent le courage à deux mains de se rapprocher des personnes ressources, des personnes qui peuvent les aider à entrer en possession de leurs droits. Et comme on dit chez nous, de fermer les oreilles. Parce que c'est elle qui a tué son mari, ça vous retracte immédiatement. On vous accuse de tous les maux. Ouais, donc le conseil, c'est d'assister aux causeries éducatives, aux tables rondes et surtout de se rapprocher des structures qui peuvent les aider à entrer en possession de leurs droits.
All right, Madame Gladys, Joko, look at the camera and you tell us what you want to say to the video out there.
Going through your grief is never easy, but I'll advise women, as soon as your husband dies, you should get above your darkness, step up, get the documents you need and keep them well. Contact the family, the people that you know you need to contact, because widowhood is being prepared long before the man dies or long before you know who are your friends and the family. Before getting married, you have to think of what will happen, because as the dowry you know you have widowhood or vice versa. So you have to prepare for this as well. Find out what it entails, get ready for that, discuss it with your husband. One never knows who will go first, but these are topics you people should talk about. And I'll ask men that please, if you have a will, let your wife know where it is, because this will also help in widowhood and it will prevent them from going to court and going to the wrong people.
I have this for the widows. Ibi jus, ibi remedio. Meaning, where there is a wrong, there is a right. Don't give up. Don't feel down. When you lose your husband, the children are looking up to you. You have a lot as responsibility. So just meet the right persons. Do not hesitate to meet lawyers. Forget about the cost.
Widowhood is very broad and complex, and we need to continuously sensitize women on how they could overcome their stress challenges when they get to that level. The program was Women and Leadership on Canal International. Thank you so much for watching, and bye-bye.